it's going to be smooth sailing for the Chiefs because Worthy and Doc said, well, the last names don't make Mahomes play better. Maybe the last names on the back of the jerseys, maybe Worthy being back did put confidence in Mahomes because he looked a lot better. He looked a lot more accurate. Everyone else was playing good. Everyone else was getting space. Everyone else was catching the ball. So maybe having the Xavier Worthy, and I still believe Rashee Rice is number one on the team. I know people have their personal opinions on him, but when he's on the field, he's a really good receiver, and I believe he will be wide receiver one once again. And I don't think the Chiefs are done. I think this is still a three-team race. It's not just the Broncos and Chargers. I think the Chiefs are going to make a fight for it, and it's like you said, it's hard to count Mahomes, Andy Reid, and Steve Spags out. This is All About the Balls podcast with Mark Davis, Kriska Meinhardt, Luke Rule, Jake Winnikine, and Nick the Doc Skirkowitz. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to All About the Balls podcast. I'm Mark Davis. That right there is Luke Rule. This is another episode, and this is NFL's Week 4 Overreaction episode. And we're going to tie some college in, Luke, for Week 5. A lot happened this week. Luke, unfortunately, your college team lost. UCF took their first L to Kansas State. And the Baltimore Ravens, we're going to talk about them in a big depth. But you guys lost to the Kansas City Chiefs, and it was not close at all. Besides that, though, how was your weekend, my friend?
Yeah, I mean, glad I didn't have to watch that Ravens Chiefs game because I was at a music festival down in Franklin, Tennessee. So I just kind of scoreboard watched that one and, just got slightly depressed every time my phone vibrated with the score update and it was going the wrong way. So then, seeing Lamar Jackson get hurt, and I just put it down. But UCF game, yeah, I figured that was going to happen. It's not a 1 year turnaround. So, and plus all three of our quarterbacks are hurt. So it's going to be a tough sledding ahead. Two quarterbacks in one game got AC shoulder sprains. So it's tough, but
yeah,
nice game again this week against Kansas at night.
Yes, we played the Kansas schools back to back, Luke, and we'll talk to Ravens because you guys are gonna make us talk about the Chiefs now, as if they're back or not. But yeah, Texas was on a bye week, was good. Didn't have to watch them lose. Now big game this week against the Gators. I think me and Jake, if he's in here tomorrow, we'll talk about that. He wants to make a little friendly bet.
Possibly your first Power 4 win.
Yeah, our first. I mean, it'd be our second Power 4 game. So yeah, it's unfortunate.
Win, though. Could be your first win.
We did lose Ohio State. It's unfortunate, but hey, we'll see how we do in the SEC. It's conference play now, but Atlanta, for at least a week, they seem to have found an offense. That was very good to see. Maybe bringing the OC down to the field, maybe firing the wide receivers coach, maybe did make a difference. Maybe it was just overshadowed by the injuries on the Commanders. I guess we'll find out when we play Buffalo in a couple weeks. So.
Yeah, big test right there.
Big test. Penix looked good. Bijan looked good. Bijan's our leading receiver and leading rusher in yards this year. Just barely sniffing out.
He is your offense.
Drake London looked good. Kyle Pitts looked good. So, I mean, it's a good week, Luke. Unfortunately, though, my New York Yankees were up 1-0. And then in, I believe, the seventh inning, we started giving up some runs. We lost 3-1 to the Red Sox. We're down a game. We got to win the next two a route. You have to win two, and there you got one. So,
yeah, O's didn't make it.
No, you guys did let us beat y'all up the last weekend to give us some confidence, but then here we are. But Luke, let's jump into it, man. Like I said, big weekend, and let's start with the NFL injuries. You kind of hit on it. Lamar Jackson, that's a big one for quarterbacks. He might miss a few weeks with a hamstring injury, so we'll keep on that. We're going to talk about, like I said, them in a minute. Malik Neighbors and Jalen Waddle both out for the year. Malik Neighbors tore his ACL, and Tyreek Hill, hey, give him credit, not crying. He was still screaming, still cheering on the crowd, or pump up the crowd. Tore some ligaments in his knee, also his ACL. He's out for the year, Luke. Unfortunate. And then the Ravens, Matabuke is going to be out for the year with a neck injury. You said potentially career-ending.
Yeah, this could be. I think it might be similar to the Zach Orr injury, which was a neck injury that ended his career, and he came back and ended up coaching for us. So, I mean, it could be a similar situation to that. Hopefully not, because we gave him a pretty big contract, I think, a year or two ago. And I'd like to keep him around because it's finding a good defensive tackle is hard to find.
They are hard to find. They are hard to find. But, yeah, we'll talk your Ravens because we're going to, in a minute, we'll obviously we're going to talk the Tyreek Hill situation with injuries, and then we'll talk the turf thing with Malik and Neighbors. But, Luke, actually, let's start with the Baltimore Ravens. Your team, the Baltimore Ravens, We're hosting the Kansas City Chiefs. Both teams were 1-2. We're going to talk the Ravens side on this one, but start off. The Ravens, we all picked them, and we all kind of looked wrong. And at the end of the day, it was 37-20. It felt worse than that. Are the Baltimore Ravens done this season? I know it's only week 4. You're only 1-3. You were 0-2 last year. This is not unfamiliar territory. But this with the injuries, your O-line does not look good. Henry's not looking like himself. Lamar, he's throwing the ball well, but the last couple weeks, there's just times where he's not making the correct reads, the correct plays. He's still playing good. Now, he did force interception, but I understand why. You're trying to keep up Mahomes. But are the Ravens done this season?
I wouldn't say they're done just yet. I'd wait until the bye week to see how these next 2 games go, especially not having Lamar. I mean, if we're 1-5 going into the bye, I would say probably much hang it up. But if Cooper Rush can come out and somehow do what he did with the Cowboys a couple years ago and string a couple games along until Lamar's healthy, then I think we had a good shot because the rest of our schedule is not bad. Like this front 6 games before our bye was our toughest stretch. And after this, the next 10 or 11 are pretty easy games, all winnable games, I think, especially when we start getting some of our guys back. Like Roquan's probably going to be out a couple of weeks. Marlon's probably going to be out a couple of weeks. And I haven't got an update on Wiggins' injury, but his elbow injury looked pretty bad. So he's maybe a month or so he might be out. So our defense is a shell of itself, even though it was already terrible.
Yeah, I think if you can get through even 1-5, I wouldn't count you out because I think you can go 10-7 and potentially be a wild card team. Now, obviously, Pittsburgh, you're chasing Pittsburgh at the moment. They're 3-1, you're 1-3. Cincinnati, I'm not going to really mention because I don't think we're high on them. So really, it looks like the competition is Pittsburgh. I think we can safe to say that's kind of true.
Yeah, I mean, you never know what happened. I mean, Aaron Rodgers can go down, and Pittsburgh's got to rely on Mason Rudolph. So,
but you do play Pittsburgh twice in the last. It looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks. So you play them early December, and then you play them the only week in January before playoffs start. So those are 2 big games.
As long as we have a better record, Pittsburgh, we're probably in the playoffs.
Yeah,
we're not dead yet.
But like you said, your schedule's not too hard. And I was saying this to you before the show, even in Discord. Cooper Rush a couple years ago when Dak Prescott hurt his hand, I think it was his thumb, he went 5-1, and he lost his last game. I think it was in Philly. And okay, you lose in Philly, but you go 5-1. He wasn't terrible those games. There were some games he had a game managed, but there were some games he actually played really well. And you guys have a good running back if he's going to be utilized. Zay Flowers was doing pretty good up until kind of like last week when you didn't really utilize him, but he got more involved this week until the game got out of hand. You have a reliable tight end, Mark Andrews. Isaiah Likely is back. You have Bateman. You have Hopkins. Like you have guys that Cooper Rush can throw to.
Yeah,
it's just can the O-line protect them?
Yeah, I don't know about that. The O-line be so used to having Lamar Jackson back there being able to get out of the pocket, and Cooper Rush isn't really that guy. He's more pocket passer guy, but I mean, the Ravens went out and got him for a reason, just to have a viable backup just in case. And Cooper Rush has proven himself before, so we'll see what he can do with the Ravens. I know he didn't look great coming in off the bench but that game was pretty much already out of hand anyways. So
yeah,
you're trying to make something happen with what was left. So can't judge him on that, but he's got a full week to get ready, see what he can do. So
and the thing, I mean, but like you said though, they brought him in for a reason. But the difference is, I believe John Harbaugh thought and the GM thought that your O-line was going to be better if Lamar did get hurt. Like you said, he's not a scrambling quarterback. He's not Josh Allen. He's not Lamar Jackson. He's not even Mahomes that will scramble. He is a pocket quarterback. And when Dallas had him, they had a pretty decent O-line that year. So it was easy for him to sit there and let the play develop. And then, hey, let's use my arm. Let's throw the ball. Now you're going to have to rely heavily on Derrick Henry, he's just having some mental. I don't know if it's a mental block or what's going on.
I think we got to start feeding Justice Hill a little bit more. I mean, we've had him for probably like 3 or 4 years, and he's a great running back. It's super underrated. I think he's got to get the ball a little more, and I think we got to bring up Keaton Mitchell onto the active roster. Like I don't understand why we keep having him as a healthy scratch.
Yeah, I said, but back to the question though, I'm not out on the Ravens yet, but
close.
You don't beat Houston, you don't beat the Rams going into your bye week, and you're 1-5. And then even if Lamar comes back, after like how good's that hammy? How tight's it feeling? Now I know it's Chicago you're playing and you're at home, but how much confidence does Caleb and the Bears look? How good do they look by then? That's something that will be seen. Their defense is pretty decent, so it might be a tough test for Lamar coming back that game if he is back that game, or he might not miss time at all. We don't know. I believe he's going to miss some time because it's a hamstring. It seems like these hamstrings are getting guys to miss.
Yeah, I think
a
they
couple
usually get
weeks.
him for like three-ish weeks.
Yeah.
Hopefully we can get Kyle Van Noy back here soon.
Yeah, you have 7 guys on the defense out. Like, I mean, there's only so
But-
like, and I understand. Like, I was listening to maybe it was Chris Sims or somebody. They were saying that when the Ravens were good, like even with your defense back in the day with Ray Lewis and all them, even the depth guys were good. The problem is that the depth guys you have right now, they're not playing good. And it's true in the playoffs, depth guys do win you. They win you games because you're going to have injuries. Now, 7's a lot to overcome, I agree. But like the Lions' depth pieces last year, they were able to overcome it in the regular season and play decent until they played Jaden Daniels in the playoffs. And right now, the Ravens' backups, they're just not playing at a high level at the moment.
Yeah.
And the O-line setting you back.
Even some of our starters, I think Marlon Humphrey, he's getting targeted on like every pass. Which is he's getting cooked.
He's getting older. I mean, he's getting older.
Yeah. But Nate Wiggins is not getting targeted very much. So, I mean, that is promising for me. I don't know if you just don't want to throw it at him or what. Then, and you haven't seen, Kyle Hamilton's still, he's the leader of the defense, obviously, at this point. He's everywhere. I feel like he's making every single tackle somehow.
Yeah, he is. But we will see what the Ravens look like in a few weeks, Luke. The team you played, the Kansas City Chiefs, they were 0-2. And here they are, 2-2. Xavier Worthy's back. Here's Xavier Worthy leading the team in rushing, leading the team in receiving as well. You have Rashee Rice come back in 3 games. Luke, I mean, the Chargers lost. The Broncos, they're still – how you feel about it, I don't know. But are the Chiefs shipping their way back to show maybe the AFC West doesn't belong to the Los Angeles Chargers? Maybe it's still the team out there in Kansas City, Missouri.
Yeah, it's hard to really bet against Mahomes, especially now he's starting to get some of his offensive weapons back. It's even having Worthy back, he seemed to be a big part of the offense when he came back. And once you pair him up with Rashee Rice, once they had that cooking, they don't have to rely on Kelsey too much like they had to in like the first 2 games. So
Kelsey was involved too. He got involved as well against the Ravens.
Yeah.
He had 5 catches. I think if you get 5 catches from Kelsey, that's now the ideal, like, kind of what you want from him because, like, he's not the same Travis Kelsey he was, but if you get him 5 catches for like 40, 50 yards, maybe a touchdown every other game or so, like you sneak it in there, it's a pretty good game for Travis Kelsey.
Yeah, plus the Kansas City's, Spags dialing up the defense. He's always got a good defense, so we'll see. I think Kansas City's going to be just fine.
Yeah. Next 3 games, too. You have Jaguars this Monday night. You have Lions Sunday night in Kansas City. And then you're hosting the Raiders. And then Rashee Rice is back. I believe if they're 3-3 going into the Commanders Monday night game, it's going to be smooth sailing for the Chiefs because Worthy and Doc said, well, the last names don't make Mahomes play better. Maybe the last names on the back of the jerseys, maybe Worthy being back did put confidence in Mahomes because he looked a lot better. He looked a lot more accurate. Everyone else was playing good. Everyone else was getting space. Everyone else was catching the ball. So maybe having the Xavier Worthy, and I still believe Rashee Rice is number 1 on the team. I know people have their personal opinions on him, but when he's on the field, he's a really good receiver, and I believe he will be wide receiver 1 once again. And I don't think the Chiefs are done. I think this is still a 3-team race. It's not just the Broncos and Chargers. I think the Chiefs are going to make a fight for it, and it's like you said, it's hard to count Mahomes, Andy Reid, and Steve Spags out. It really is.
I always lose betting against them, so it seems that way.
No, but yeah, we'll keep an eye on the Kansas City Chiefs. Luke, a team that I was excited to watch for. Now, unfortunately, they lose mid-league neighbors. But how about the New York Giants? How about Jackson Dart? Not the biggest stat game, but how about him coming in here? 13 of 20 for 111 yards, a rushing touchdown, a passing touchdown. Cam Scatterbo is out here trying to run everybody over at will. He might even run his own teammates over if they get in the way, Luke. So, how big of a game was this going forward for the New York Giants since we're reacting now to their 1-3 start?
Yeah, I think this is a huge game for them. I think it's a huge game for the Giants fan base because I think they needed this. They needed a new face to come in there and pull out a win. I get not a great statistical game, but Jackson Dart did what he had to do. I mean, he showed he's good at running the football too. I think he got banged up a little bit, but I think he's fine.
Russell did have a pass, by the way, 1 of 1, 8 yards.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Me neither. I must have missed that.
But yeah, I mean, Jackson looked good. It sucks that he lost Neighbors because I mean, we know they're not going to really go anywhere this season. I think they're going to do just enough to save Dayball's job and give him another year with Dart. So I mean, this is just like a little test, like preseason for him. You got a whole year of preseason for Dart to learn how to play NFL.
And I think as the year goes, even maybe against the Saints this week, it didn't seem like he had the full playbook at his exposure. So maybe as the weeks go, he starts to get more and more. They didn't ask him to do a whole lot. You saw it, but when they did ask him to do something, he made the plays either with his legs or his arms, and that's something that we weren't seeing Russ do. We didn't see Russ really extend plays. We didn't see Russ get creative with the little shot put passes, the underhand passes. He's getting Darius Slayton involved. He was getting Theo Johnson involved. Now, I think yes, no Neighbors. We'll see what they do going forward, but I think Dart might be something in New York. And I know it's only one game, and like I said, it wasn't like he threw 300 yards and 3 touchdowns, but it's what you saw. He looked like he was mature enough to handle this team, and the Chargers are now no slouches on defense. Yeah, he played pretty well.
I don't think anybody picked the Giants to win the game.
I am the cover. I did have the cover, but I was like, no, I can't pick the Chargers, even with the unknown of Dart. But no, this defense looked good. This defense got under Herbert's skin. I mean, they caused pressure. I mean,
it sucks for their O-line because they're down their 2 top tackles.
Yeah,
2 probably the better tackles in the NFL. Like
all had a high ankle sprain, so he'll be out for a few weeks as well. But no, I like the direction the New York Giants are looking at. And like I said, if this defense plays good and they get healthy next year, hey, they could be a playoff potential team.
They're a fun team to watch.
Yeah, and
I love watching Skydoo play.
Yeah, I have a buddy in the office. He's a Giants fan. He said, I don't know how long he's going to last the way he runs, but, man, he's sure enough fun to watch right now.
Yeah. If you don't like watching Skydoo play football, then you just don't like the sport.
Oh, man, he's a bowling ball, man. He is ready to, like I said, it doesn't matter. Whoever gets in his way, he's running you over. He's going to put you on your ass. But, Luke, Sunday Night Football was an amazing game. And I know I say it all the time. Every week I'm like, man, what a great game. This was a great game. And we see ties throughout the NFL's history. The NFL's got to do something with these ties. You can't end a 40-40 game on a tie. That game was too good between Dak Prescott and Jordan Love, the Cowboys, the Packers, to end 40-40 as a tie.
Yeah, I think ties are the dumbest thing that the NFL does. I don't understand why we can't do some way to figure out like a game winner. Like, all right, do the first overtime and fucking line the kickers up or do something.
Yeah,
have them do free kicks until one misses. Or
yeah, Pat McAfee he recommended a golden boot rule, kind of like soccer, how they do it, and their extra time. But at least he's trying to incorporate something, kicker, or like you said, okay, you both got the first drive, okay, instead of starting at the 25. Start the 50 on the second overtime. Do something.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think start from the 50 in the first overtime because, you started at the 25. You're already in field goal range for fucking every kicker in the NFL at this point. You start at the 50 and then you got to at least drive the ball like at least 10 yards to be in field goal range. They got to do something. But I'd like it. College rules except starting at the 50. I think that would be great for the NFL. It makes it harder in college just a little bit, but similar. Everybody's going to understand the rules. Double overtime, you got to go for 2. Then after that, it's just 2-point conversions until somebody misses.
And what sucks, though, is, and I know they did it for safety, but they cut the time to 15 to 10 minutes. I know it's not new. It's been like that for a couple of years now. But, that extra 5 minutes, you saw the Cowboys milk the clock, and you saw the Packers milk the clock. So it's like both teams only had one drive. It seemed like it was like 5 minutes each way. And now the Packers almost did blow the game, by the way. That I don't know how. They're lucky the ball went straight down. If that ball would have just got tipped in the air or went straight to the end zone, they would have lost. And I don't know what the Packers are doing, but we've ripped the Packers the last couple weeks, so we're not going to really talk about the bonehead decision love. But, yeah, I like you said, this has got to go. Like, these ties, you can't end good game. Like, okay, if it was like 6-6, just end the fucking game a tie. I mean, who cares at that point? But this game was too good.
Yeah. I think it fucks up, like, seeding, too. Like,
it does because it goes by winning percentage.
Yeah, now you got Packers and Cowboys both in the NFC. Like, Cool. Now that you had two NFC teams that could have the same
Or
record, and
or
you won't have a tiebreaker with them either.
yeah, it's like as I said, the Falcons and Cowboys. Like say the Falcons are 10-7, and the Cowboys are 10-6-1. We have the same amount of wins, but they have less losses.
So they get in.
But they get in, but it's because and we don't know, yeah, because obviously you don't know if the Packers would have finished it if they would have done the new overtime rules that we're trying to incorporate. But it is. I mean, it does screw teams over. It could even screw them over. It can honestly like if they are
Yeah, if they would have got that one extra win.
if they're
Instead of just getting
9-7
a tie.
and yeah, if they're 9-7-1, and if they would have beat the Packers, and that would have flipped them over that NFC team, they could have got in. So it hurts them too, possibly if they're below, and they would have had a tiebreaker if they beat the NFC team. So it does. It's kind of stupid, and this isn't soccer. This
Yeah.
is the NFL. And football in general. Football should not be ending in ties. This is
Yeah,
not.
you need to have a winner and a loser every game.
And I believe soccer should be the same way. No, I mean every sport should have a winner and a loser in that match. So
Golf doesn't even do ties.
no, well, the Ryder Cup, it gets to that point. It was 14-14. The champion retains the cup, but they didn't get to that point. But yeah, even in golf tournaments, there's no ties. You go to playoffs, you go sudden death, you do whatever. Sometimes you'll play another 18 holes. I've seen it, like Tiger Woods did. He went in the '08 U.S. Open. They played Sunday until sunset, and when Tiger made that electric putt on one leg, they said, "All right, we're running that shit back." And he was on a torn ACL. He was on a torn ACL golfing another 18 holes walking the course. So
That sucks.
yeah, it does suck. But Tiger, I know not a lot of people watch golf, but Tiger's a man. He's a dog, so he's the GOAT. But Luke, speaking of torn ACLs, let's talk about these turf fields. And MetLife is a big one. You've had 8 torn ACLs since 2020. Do the owners need to just do the right thing and say, we understand it costs money to maintain these fields, and just get grass?
Yeah, I don't understand why every team doesn't have grass at this point. Like all the players want it. I don't know why the NFLPA can't get this one worked in with the owners, but I mean, the players even say it hurts more like getting tackled on the turf. So I'm like,
It's like cement.
yeah, well, because you have like that little bit of padding there, but it's nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, and the grass is rough, or the turf is rough. So I'm like, I don't understand it. They have no excuse. They got an open air stadium too. It's not like they have to maintain a dome that with grass on the inside. But there's teams that do it that have domes with grass inside too.
Arizona, they roll it out and then
Yeah, the
bring it
Raiders
back
do
in.
this, the Raiders do the same thing.
Yeah, it's a shame because I understand, they're trying to keep their money and whatnot, but like they do realize that.
They got 2 teams in there. They got enough money to figure
Well,
it
not
out.
just that. All these teams that have turf. It doesn't matter which team it is, but yes, this is the Giants and Jets because it's been happening at their stadium a lot. But you have these players that get hurt and that potentially can be the playoffs. So guess what? If you get a playoff home game, you get a little more money for playoff concession stands. You're getting playoff tickets. You're getting money to host these games. But you want to have turf to save your money, but your players are getting ruined, and eventually fans are just not going to show up. If they suck, they're just not going to show up. Unless you have the loyal fans like the Browns and the Giants and Jets do show up, unfortunately, and that's the owners just don't care. They don't, and I believe they should. And it's the only good thing about turf fields is the pellets. So it's very easy to see if you stepped in or out. Because if the pellets fly inbounds, they're going to obviously you can see it, and vice versa for out of bounds. But it is a shame for these players. Like it is. Malik Neighbors in his second year, and he tore his ACL already. Now Tyreek Hill was on grass. He was on Bermuda grass. Unfortunately,
he took a weird fall though when he was going down. That's why it looked like it.
Yeah, I think when he landed, it was the way he landed.
Yeah, the problem with the turf is like they get stuck a little bit on the turf, and it bends that ACL a little too far and snaps.
Yeah, and I don't even know. I wish I would maybe Google it now. Like, what was the who invented turf? Like, I mean, I would like to know that because that kind of is bullshit if you ask me. But no, the owners got to do the right thing, Luke. They have to get it fixed.
Yeah, it's the NFL. Fucking put that shit on grass like how football's supposed to be played.
Yeah, play it on grass. And Luke, let's talk about teams that do play on grass. Let's talk about the Eagles and the Bills. They're the last remaining unbeaten teams. They're both 4-0. They both have question marks. So I'll be honest, they both have question marks. Which team is the last one when it comes to being undefeated. When it goes forward, looking at their schedules, who is the last team? Now, this week, you have the Eagles playing the Broncos at home, and you have the Bills Sunday Night Football against the Patriots. Now, that's just next week. And then the Eagles play the Giants Thursday night following that, and the Bills play the Falcons Monday night in Atlanta. So I'm an Atlanta fan. I'll be a little honest. That's probably not a good game for the Falcons. So I see the Bills winning the next 2 games. Now, I'm on the record. I think I'm going to pick the Broncos this week, but it's not a guarantee win for Denver. So I don't know, man. Like, I think Buffalo is going to be the last team unbeaten. I think Philly's got some games in here that they can definitely lose.
Yeah, I mean, these teams have been they've just been able to figure out how to win games late. I mean, the Saints put up a pretty good fight up until late in the third quarter with the Bills, and the Eagles 0 passing yards in the second half. They got lucky. Their defense bailed them out.
8 pass attempts, by the way.
Yeah, 8 pass attempts for 0 yards. So
yeah,
I don't know how you win a game like that. I mean, they gave Baker enough shots, but the defense kept them in the game. That's what saved them. I didn't really get to watch too much of the game. I got to watch the first half, missed the second half of it. Scoreboard watched it, but I kept watching. I'm like, oh, Baker's gonna. I thought he was gonna pull out another one. I was really hoping.
Yeah, but when it comes to these 2 teams, I do think Buffalo will be the last one. Now, their offense has been a little flat in the middle of the games. Their rush defense is terrible, by the way. It doesn't matter who it is. Everyone besides the Jets could run the ball on this team and for Buffalo against Buffalo. But I think based on the schedule I'm seeing, I think Philly will lose a game in the next few weeks. And I think Buffalo is going to be the last one unbeaten. I think they get double digits and then they lose around the 10-11 win mark.
I could see the Buffalo losing to the Patriots this week, but I think they might sleep on the Pats a little bit.
It's in Buffalo?
It's in Buffalo. They're wearing their little white uniforms this week too, I think.
Yeah, they might sleep on New England, but I'm not picking Drake May to go to Buffalo on Sunday night to win that game. I think the Eagles will probably handle the Broncos too. The Broncos have not. I mean, they looked better last week, but they played against the Bengals. So what does that really mean? So yeah,
I think this Eagles defense is going to give the Broncos offense a tough time.
Yeah.
So,
I don't know.
I'm Eagles offense is just going to grind it out like they always do.
They do, but I think going forward, I still think I have the Eagles losing just a week or 2 before the Bills.
Yeah. Well, we'll see.
We will. Look, you know what else we're going to see this week? Dylan Gabriel. Now, I was saving this topic for as in when the hell are we going to bench Joe Flacco, but they already did it for us. So did the Cleveland Browns make the right decision overreacting to this first 4 weeks and benching Joe Flacco, giving Dylan Gabriel, the left-handed QB, a chance?
Yeah, I think it's time. I think the Browns know they're not going to go anywhere with Flacco. I think he's got the worst QBR out of all the starting quarterbacks so far.
He looks terrible.
Which is not a good. The offense isn't good either.
They're not good, but he also does not look good.
Yeah, I never trusted their wide receivers. I mean, they got Jerry Jeudy, and that's it. And a Joku,
and they don't even use them.
Yeah, and so we'll see what Dylan Gabriel can do, but they got to see if they have the guy before they go into the next year's draft because they had 2 first-round picks. So they got to see if they're going to spend them both on a quarterback and move up and get a quarterback or what. So I mean, give Gabriel first the next 6 weeks and give Sanders the following 6 and figure out who your guy is.
I was thinking of something earlier.
Or Gabriel's balling out, give it to Sanders.
So and I know it's not ideal because it probably has never been done. And I was thinking about this earlier, and I know it's not going to happen. And typically I would never say it, but I say start Gabriel this week, start Shador the next week, and just keep flip-flopping every week. They'll get Gabriel will have 1 extra game because of how many games are left. But I mean, it's just okay, you're going to get a good battle then. Everyone's going to get a fair chance. But yes, I agree. You got to let Gabriel play. You got to let him see if he goes off. It seems like Junkins is the only part of this offense that's working. The defense is really he looks good. The defense
no training camp, no preseason, no nothing.
Nothing. I think he played a couple rookie before mandatory minicamp. I think he was just part of the rookie ones, very early on. So it's been a while, but he's looked good, and defense looks good. But I think I was going to say Joe Flacco's got to sit down. It's time for him to get benched Time to be moved on. He's not the same Joe Flacco he once was, 5-7 years ago. I mean, shit. Lamar took over in 2018, so 2016 season. I get it. He went to the playoffs a couple of years ago, coming off the couch. No one really probably remembered how he was going to play. Now people know who he is again. So it's not like this is Joe Flacco of yesteryear. This is not that guy no more. And it's unfortunate, I understand, but you got to see what the lefty could do. And if he doesn't work out, you got to see what Shador Sanders can do. You got to see what both of them can do.
Yeah.
And
you don't want to go into the draft having question marks at quarterback still. Like either you got the guy or you don't. And
but I still think they have question marks because you still have Deshaun Watson, who's going to be back next year.
It's time for him to go.
But that's the thing is that
Deshaun Watson hasn't. He hasn't played quarterback in like 2 years, really.
And the Browns have made a bigger mess than you could ever imagine when this all happened. Because yes, you trade for Deshaun Watson, and I'll always stand by it. At the time it happened, I thought he was better than Baker. Now, obviously, in 2020 hindsight, that is not the case. And getting fully guaranteed money, I don't care how good you are. I don't think anyone should get fully guaranteed money. And they gave him that. And he didn't look good. He's gotten hurt a couple times. You draft 2 quarterbacks, and you have him come back next year. So if no one knows if he's going to be released, cut, traded, or what. So they're in a correct situation, I think, for the next couple of years. It's going to be an interesting situation for the Browns. And it starts now with Dylan Gabriel this week.
And honestly, with that front of house they have, you have no clue what they're going to do. The Browns are probably one of the most unpredictable organizations when it comes to trying to figure out their players.
And the good thing about Gabriel's first start is he can't get booed at home because it's in London. So
I don't think you're going to boo a quarterback on their first.
Oh, they might boo them. Well, they might boo like the play calling and things like that. But he's unfortunately would have to hear it, and it would be an unwarranted shot. But Luke,
it is a tough defense for him to start out with.
Yeah, Minnesota, they can play.
Yeah. Do we know if JJ's playing yet, or is it still going to be a Wentz?
It's questionable. They don't know. It sounded like that JJ wasn't going to play the whole time they were in Europe, but people are still questioning it and whatnot. So if you do got a London player, by the way, playing, make sure you check your fantasy lineups. You don't want to get bit by that. But he was supposed to be good to go, and then the next morning, he's ruled out.
I gotta double check, make sure Rudolph's actually playing.
But Luke, let's talk something similar. Las Vegas Raiders. When the hell is Geno getting benched?
Yeah, Geno's he's terrible. Like there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. But I don't know if they who they got the backup right now.
Oh man,
they just got somebody in this draft, didn't they?
I have it right here. No, the Seahawks drafted Jalen Milroe. Their backup is Kenny Pickett. It might be Pickett time soon. It might have to be. And I'm not a big Pickett fan, but Geno leads the league in interceptions. He's god awful. He makes the dumbest decisions. Now shout out to Chip Kelly finally letting Ashton Genty use his stance that he did in college. You draft a kid out of college and you try and change his stance. By the way, he was the best running back in football the last 2 years. So combined, and you're going to take him out of his stance. See what happens when you use him the right way. And Geno's he's just terrible. He's bad.
Yeah, I mean they could have won at least a couple of these games if Geno actually made some confident throws
against the Bears, especially. Caleb didn't look great. He was kind of keeping the Bears or the Raiders in the game, but Geno definitely was keeping the Bears in the game. So
it's just crazy.
Yeah, it is. I'm not a big Geno fan. I wasn't in Seattle, obviously not in the Jets.
I never really liked Geno. I always thought I don't know why some people in our chats thought Geno was really good when he was in Seattle for a couple of years.
He had that one good year. They made the playoffs out of nowhere, and it's like cool. I mean, but then I still didn't believe in him.
No, never believed in him.
No.
I mean, Geno is a quality backup quarterback in the NFL. So he's always been. So he should be. I don't understand how he keeps getting starting roles.
Yeah, I think he's a quality backup. I think if he comes in, kind of like for example, if Geno was on the Ravens and they needed to fill in for Lamar for a few weeks, okay, I'd say okay, go out there and do your best. So, now, Luke, let's talk winners of the week, though. So this is something we didn't do last week. Something that you saw. It could be a coach, could be a player, could be a team. What are some a winner or whatever? We could do a couple, but who you think is the big winner of the week of this NFL Week 4 season?
I mean, I would say Steelers. They're overall they went out on the road to Dublin, got a big win. Then the rest of the division lost. So I mean, they're looking pretty good in first place in the AFC North by 2 games ahead of everybody already.
Yeah.
And the rest of the injuries, no Burrow, no Lamar playing.
Yeah. Now the Steelers did get some injuries. Jalen Ramsey, Calvin Austin, they might be out a few weeks too, even after the bye. So that could be big. Jalen Ramsey is definitely a big one. Calvin Austin was looking good as a number 2 wide receiver. But Kenneth Gainwell broke out.
Yeah, he had a pretty good game.
I'm gonna say Jackson Dart, Luke. I mean, let's just call it what it is. You come in your first game as a starter. Week 4, you're 0-3. You're playing 3-0 Los Angeles Chargers. A lot of people are crowning them as potentially the best team in football, and you take care of business. You're not say it wasn't 300 yards, it wasn't 3 touchdowns, but you made the right plays. You did the right things. You didn't put the ball in harm's way. You ran the ball. The Giants and overall your defense controlled the Chargers side. Marion Hampton. I think one of my winners of the week is Jackson Dart and the New York Giants. Look, another one real quick. Michael Penix. He had a lot of critique, a lot of criticism after the Panthers game, and in his 7th game now as a starter, and that's the Michael Penix that people thought, especially in the Atlanta organization, thought you were going to see. You bring in the OC down to the field level, you fire your wide receivers coach, you go 20 of 26 for 300 plus, 2 touchdowns. Yeah, it was a bad interception and another bad throw earlier too. So he had 2 bad throws out of 26. I'll take that any day of the week. And Drake London was involved. Kyle Pitts was involved. Bijan was involved. This is what I want to see from my team, and I do think it's a big, big win for Michael Penix as well.
Yeah, it probably builds up his confidence a little bit, especially going into the bye. They got an extra week to prepare for the Bills, so it's good for them. Get the confidence up because going into a bye on a loss is not a good way to go in. So
no, not at all, Luke. How about some losers of the week, Luke, that you saw?
The Ravens, John Harbaugh.
Yeah, people are starting to.
Yeah, his seat's starting to heat up a little bit.
It's starting to get hot again.
Yeah, I mean, if we miss the playoffs, I mean, it might be time to I don't think the Ravens are going to do anything drastic in season.
Well, I saw a rumor that back when y'all won the Super Bowl in 2012, he was rubbing the players off the wrong way, and the players kind of revolted, and they made their own little. Like it was a player ran team. Is that true?
I've heard stuff like that. I think Ed Reed's the one that talked about it a little bit. Ed Reed never liked him from the get go. So
he wasn't a big Harbaugh guy.
No, it's I saw a clip of that like the other day, but I don't know. I mean, John Harbaugh almost got fired in 2018, but Lamar saved his job with that. Ended up playing well. So I mean,
well, you've heard
maybe that ship sailed. I mean, I wish we would have been able to find a way to keep McDonald. And
I mean,
because I thought he was going to be the heir apparent to Harbaugh eventually, but
he
was too good. He was too good as a DC, and somebody got a job.
There are a couple names that I've floated around for like the Bengals maybe to hire. Maybe go get Joe Brady. He can reel in the offense. We've seen him take pressure off off Josh Allen. Maybe he could take some load off of Lamar, and he could call correct plays because I still have a hard time with Todd Monken. You know how I feel about him. Yeah. Maybe a Joe Brady would be good for Lamar Jackson and a running game. It'd put more workload on Derrick Henry and the running backs, and we've seen what's done for Josh Allen. Maybe that's something good for Lamar. I'm not saying Lamar can't carry a team. We've seen him be MVP twice, so I know he can ball out. Yeah. But for the playoffs, at least, that's good for him.
I'm sure it's a job Joe Brady would be highly interested in too.
Yeah, I'd sign him.
A well-run organization instead of going over the Bengals.
Yeah. The only thing enticing with the Bengals for him would be you pair back up with Burrow and Chase.
Yeah.
And I think he would take pressure.
You just have to deal with the cheap organization over at the Bengals.
You do got to deal with that. But
the Ravens owner's he's not afraid to spend. Awesome facility out in Owings Mills, Maryland, too.
Yeah.
So the castle out there.
No, I have a loser of the week. It's actually the Miami Dolphins fans. They got to have another week with Mike as head coach. Big win for the Dolphins, but honestly, Luke, I think the Bucs are big losers too because they have a lot of injuries now. Bucky Irving's on the injury list. So I don't know how much more the Bucs can survive these injuries. I mean, that's a good team when they're healthy. I'll give them that. They are a very good team when healthy.
And as long as they have 2 wide receivers, I think they can figure out a way to do something. Because Godwin looked pretty good in his first game back. I mean, I think he had a couple drops, nothing too crazy, but he made some nice catches. Then he's a beast.
Yeah, he is.
So I mean, they hit on that pick, and
I mean,
I right now it looks like a very good decision that they drafted him because they've needed him.
Godwin was 3 catches for 26 yards. He had 10 targets though. It's only 30% pass catch rate.
Oh, he had more than that.
Yeah, Luke. Let's talk a little college though, real quick. Let's talk Alabama and Georgia. And man, it seems like Kirby Smart just can't figure out how to beat Alabama. Does it matter that Nick Saban's the head coach? Hell no, because now Kalen DeBoer has gone in and beat them twice. Luke, what was some takeaways with this game?
Yeah, I mean, Bama just kind of pretty much owned the game for the most part. I know the game was pretty close in score, but it was pretty much Georgia trying to keep up the whole game. They made Stockton have to throw the football, and that's not really his strong suit. I mean, yes, he can make some.
Saying that.
Yeah, he can make some big plays here and there, but as a overall passer, he's not that great.
No, Alabama's defense looked good. I know the second half was a little lackluster for the Alabama offense. The defense gave up some points too, but the offense came up big when they needed to. The defense came up big when they needed to, and maybe Kellen DeBoer. Maybe they just need to pack that schedule with all ranked teams because that's what it seems like Alabama does good against is ranked teams with Kellen DeBoer. Yeah. When they play the unranked teams, they're in trouble. So maybe they do play Vandy well this week because Vandy is a ranked team. But no, seriously, Alabama looked better. Maybe what Chris said, only having 6 wins this year, maybe that's going to be wrong. I think Chris is going to be wrong on that. I don't think Alabama's dead out of the water yet. But yes, no. John Stockton, I've had my concerns.
They got 3 wins already. I think they can figure out another 4. To get 7 wins.
But no, I am not a fan of Gunnar Stockton. I was not a fan of him coming into the season. It was on record. I said, hey, he came out and had 2 decent drives against Texas in the SEC championship. Nobody knew anything about him. We saw what happened against the Irish. It was terrible. And I think if we would have played them that same week that the Irish did, I think Texas would have beat them because I don't think Stockton is that guy. I think he's holding the Georgia Bulldogs back. Honestly, I do.
All right. Simpson played a good game too. I mean, he looked like he's the guy. So I mean, I starting off in a rough week the first week, but after that, Bama looks like they're turning it around after the Florida State loss.
Yeah, they did. And Florida State, by the way, big terrible loss to Virginia. So, but Luke, let's talk the Big Ten.
Sydney's mom was at that game too.
Oh, she was.
Yeah,
I saw somebody that I knew that was there too. I forgot who it was, but I saw them like a video.
Yeah.
Man, sorry for her mom. That's bad. But let's talk the Big Ten. This was number 3 versus number 6 at the time, and it came down to the wire. It was a very kind of boring, slow start game, but then the fourth quarter came along, and Oregon and Penn State put up some points in overtime. Obviously, Drew Aller got things going in the fourth quarter. Bad turnover in the second overtime. Luke, what do you think about the Oregon Ducks and the Penn State Nittany Lions?
Yeah, I mean, Dan Lanning's got this team firing on all cylinders. I mean, yeah, it was pretty much a slow start until late in the third. Once Oregon got back and they tied this game up, and going into overtime, it was on. It was overtime, and Oregon just played better overtime. I think it was their first play they scored a touchdown in overtime. Then and Penn State drove down, scored a touchdown. They went double overtime, and Penn State went through an interception.
Shout out to Moore, by the way. Yeah, and shout out to Moore. He's definitely he's the Heisman favorite at the moment because obviously Mateer got hurt, and he's probably going to lose that stock. But Moore's playing good. He's playing good ball. And going to Penn State in a whiteout game at night, and he did that against that defense. I'll give him that.
Hey, maybe sitting a year is not a bad idea for some of these guys. Go to school, wait a year or two, and because he was on Oregon last year. He sat behind Gabriel for the whole season, and I guess Dan Lanning hey, you're going to be the guy next year. Fucking learn how to play quarterback in these tough environments.
Sometimes it's good.
Yeah,
sometimes it just depends. It wasn't good for Arch so far. He sat 2 years.
Maybe if he started last year, he'd be good.
Yeah, maybe. But no, I liked what I saw. Penn State still shows me they can't win big games. So
Yep.
when it matters, and this is the year we said it. This is the year that they have to take advantage of Michigan, Ohio State not being the strong. I mean, I know they're undefeated, but I don't think anyone's truly scared of Ohio State at the moment. I think Oregon should be the favorite in the Big Ten. Now they are number 2. We'll figure that out later on if they play them. But Luke, let's talk the good old Lane Kiffin game that Chris is dodging here. LSU or Ole Miss. I think Nussmeier's draft stock is falling down. I think his time of being that number 1 quarterback option, it's slowly going down the toilet.
Yeah, I don't like any of the the quarterbacks really that are coming in the draft. Not right now. Still got quite a ways to go in the season, but the way Nussmeier's been playing is, I know Chris keeps saying, maybe he's not fully healthy. I'm like, if it's just his like core, I'm like, it's not. He shouldn't be missing some of these throws that bad. But that offensive line is terrible. Ole Miss threw a 3-man rush every single play at LSU's offensive line, and they were still eating Nuss alive.
Yeah, they were.
Like 3-man rush, 3 against 5, or 3 against 5 and 3 against 6 the entire game, and those 3 were just eating them up.
And I know
8 guys in coverage. Well, what's Nuss really going to do? He's seeing ghost out there. There's so many players.
Run the ball. I mean, like that's what they said. Eventually, run them out of coverage. Run them out of dropping back. Like what are you guys doing? And what's this defense doing too? I understand it's only 24 points, but this backup, Chambliss, he balled out. Yeah. Lacey balled out in the run game. Where's the LSU defense?
Over 300 passing yards.
He had 1 terrible interception. It was a bad interception, but he's a former D2 player.
Hey, like D2 national champion.
Sorry, with some respect, D2 national champion, and he's the backup before the season. Now, where's the defense now? I think the SEC's wide open. I think a few teams can still win the SEC. Ole Miss can be up there. LSU, Georgia, Texas, Alabama, Vanderbilt. There are teams that Mississippi State.
Can you imagine if Vandy wins the SEC?
I won't say Texas A&M because someone's like, "Oh, watch out! You played them last week." I was like, "Yeah, but that's what A&M's going to do. A&M things. They're going to lose that game when they're undefeated. Watch. They'll be 11-0 playing Texas, and then they're going to lose. That's the A&M tradition right there." But no, Luke, we had some good games, man. It was good college football weekend, very good NFL weekend. I don't think this weekend is the biggest. I know we're going to predict the games tomorrow for NFL, but some decent games this week. Florida State, Miami, Bama versus Vandy, Texas versus Florida. I know that's big because we have people that we know that are Florida fans. Your brother, Jake, I'm a Texas fan, so like that's the only reason why. But decent college games.
Yeah, I think that's about it. A&M, Mississippi State. See if they can.
We'll see what that one. NFL's got a couple.
UCF, Kansas. It's a big one for me.
Hey, UCF and Kansas State made my multi-view, by the way.
Nice.
They made my multi-view.
Well, you probably wish you could have turned it off because it didn't go well.
But Luke, we'll be back here. Big flip, by the way, in Pick'ems. We'll talk about that tomorrow. Your boy's slowly coming back. I had a very good week, by the way. I was 11-5 against the spread. So,
oh wow,
I'm coming back. But
I'm not doing well anymore. I have fallen off.
Yeah, you've fallen off. It took a few weeks, but you're starting to go backwards on the mountain, not forwards. But Luke, great you for joining me, man. And we'll talk tomorrow when we do the NFL Pick'ems and get ready for this weekend. It starts Thursday with the Niners and Rams. Good Thursday night NFC West battle. Jake will be stressing all night.
Yeah,
as usual.
I'm excited for that. I like single games when just one person's like team's playing at a time, so we just fucking roasted one team all night.
Only time that's happened for me, it worked out in my favor. That was a boring game, but I'll take a boring win any day. So
you got another one versus the Bills.
Yeah, and I'm already at that mindset where I kind of can see what's going to happen, And
they're gonna get your hopes up, and they're gonna crush it at the end.
it's either that, or I think we're just gonna get our ass destroyed. I think we're just gonna get blown out. Now, there's 2 Monday night games that night. There's also Bears Commanders that night. So you have me and Doc's team playing.
It'll be a good day in the chat.
Side by side multi-view, just like how we are right now. You guys have both games on. But no, I can't wait for that. Luke, we'll be back here tomorrow, man. Thanks for joining us. I'm Mark Davis. That's Luke Rule. This is All About the Balls podcast. Have a great one.
Thank you for checking out another episode of All About the Balls podcast. We want to thank all of our listeners and supporters of the Sack House. You can listen to the show on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube. And don't forget to subscribe and give us a follow on Twitter and Instagram at the Sack House.